Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of MOPO, where it's all matter of personal opinion. It's all MOPO. I'm at Dave Roach 83, here with my man the Scientist, at the Scientist I should say. Find us on Twitter. Today we're going to start a little episodic journey we're going to call the ABCs of movies. And it's going to kind of be like a blend of like a review, recommendation type thing, where for each letter of the alphabet, we're going to throw a couple movies at you. Just kind of, check them out, see what you think. Did you already see these movies? Which you probably did. What'd you think about these movies? Not necessarily any rhyme or reason beyond this movie began with this letter.
And I liked it.
Yeah, and I liked it, or I watched it recently.
And it's on the top of my head.
Right, it's on the top of my head. Maybe I didn't like this movie. Maybe I watched it with the intent of doing this and found out this isn't quite like I remembered it. But, that being said, we're going to start with A. And I actually watched this movie not too long ago. It's kind of an older movie. It's called Accepted.
When he goes to school.
Yeah, well,
when he builds his own college.
Right. And
that movie is so great. I love that movie.
It's a well-written, well-acted, and just a plain funny movie. And I don't know if this is where these guys got their start, because, I don't got the laptop in front of me. I'm not on IMDb and, whatever. But it's an early Justin Long and Jonah Hill movie. Maybe among other people, but those are the two guys that are standing out in my mind right now. I mean, Jonah Hill was fat, man. It's crazy to look at him now. Not saying he's, super skinny now, but, go back and look at him in this role, man. Holy smokes. He's fat, but he was funny, man. And it was a pretty funny movie. This kid makes the mistake of only really filling out,
No,
he does.
He just doesn't get into the one he wanted to.
Right. He doesn't fill out too many college applications. Pretty cocky, just thinking
always have a backup school.
Right, thinking he's just going to get in. I mean, honestly, though, he gets rejected by, all the schools he applied to. Not saying he just did one or two. He did a couple, but he didn't do 10. And he, make
sure you get them extracurricular activities.
Right, and he applied to, very prestigious schools or whatever, too. So he got rejected, and, it's disappointing for normal people. That's, a disappointing thing, I guess.
If you want to go. It's disappointing for parents.
Right, for parents.
Kids, I'm sure, don't care unless,
they got real dreams of being, a
actually
lawyer.
Doing something with their life.
Right. Not just making movies or,
Because if you want a real job in life, that means something, you're going to want to go to college.
Right.
If you're just going to be I'm just going to work any old job and be like an artist, don't waste your money and go to college.
That's MOPO. I wouldn't say don't go to college.
I'm going to tell you right now, don't go to college.
As two college graduates who are not really...
I'm going to tell you, I graduated from college, and I'd be right where I am now. Just
if you didn't go to college,
just with a whole lot more money in my pocket.
probably more money in your pocket. And I'm saying both.
Because I went to school for film. Now, I'm not saying you can't learn something, but, I mean...
You're not exactly making money off filmmaking.
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
not making money off of filmmaking. I probably wouldn't then. I might have had a TV job if I, did an internship. But the only problem is internship. Well, yeah, we're dealing with Accepted, so it's kind of college related. Yeah, you go to an internship for free, and then it's okay, well, how am I supposed to pay my bills?
Supposed to live?
Yeah, I need to get there. I was commuting, living off campus and everything, so I had to have a job. So I can't intern for free. So, I mean, anyway.
I will say this movie was made in a time, before this was really...
Where everybody goes to college. Yeah, that's when I was growing up. That's why I can relate to this.
Right. And, so basically, this kid, just to make sure that his parents are not
keep giving the
disowning
money.
him or whatever. Actually, they make their own college, and it blows up. And by the end of the movie, they actually wind up being like, legitimate, thing. And, just saying, not the greatest movie ever, but it was a really funny movie, and it's cool to see how these, at the time, nobodies have evolved into, like, well-known, famous actors.
Okay.
Do you have, any movie you're thinking of or you've seen recently, like, begins with an A?
Like, last night, they had this whole thing on Amityville Horror, but I would want my A movie representation to be Advent Children, which is a computer animated CGI movie.
It was like one of the first of its kind,
but it
too.
looks real.
Yeah, like
pretty much.
If I believe so, like it was like the first movie made with that technology, and yeah, like the effects are amazing.
It's pretty dope, and it's Advent Children. It's Final Fantasy VII's storyline and character lineup. So you actually.
So it's Cloud.
It's Cloud and Red 13
Sephiroth.
and Sephiroth is in it. Is in it Barrett?
I tell you what, that's like my favorite game for a long time, man. Like it's up there. It's like top 5 games ever to me.
It was a pretty wild story, and it was the first time I ever played an open world RPG like that, and it blew my mind. I had so much fun playing that game.
Yeah.
Before it was like Tekken and all these other
fighting games, like football games,
like good games like Metal Gear Solid, but you're going in one direction.
It's very closed,
very
world,
linear,
like you said.
But it's really cool because the movie takes place pretty much after the events
of the game.
Okay. I'm not exactly sure how far after, but I remember they're fighting in the ruins of Midgar at one point, so, and the Turks are there and shit. But it's definitely worth checking out. It definitely sticks out in my head, and it's a one-of-a-kind movie. It'll especially if you're going to love it if you love Final Fantasy in general.
Yeah.
Even more so if you love the 7. But even if you don't, I feel like there's a lot of enjoyment to take place. Like, it's got a really rich story.
Yeah, the story is good enough for any generation.
The action is pretty amazing and wild. And just the graphics, man. Like, even now, I mean, it still holds up. I mean, not like that movie was made decades ago, but it was probably made close to a decade ago. I don't know, man. We're old.
Yeah, it might be older than you think.
But, yeah, so that would be my A representation.
Okay. That's a continuation, not Final Fantasy related, but another movie that I'm really thinking of that sticks out of my mind is Anchorman.
Okay.
Like the first one. I mean, the second one was funny too. Excuse me. Get some water. But the first one was just iconic. Like, it's just scene after scene. Like, these guys are just hilarious.
Just being ridiculous.
Yeah, like, it's almost like every scene.
Well, that's a
movie.
comedian's comedy movie.
Yeah.
That's what you get when you get a bunch of comedians. Like, that's what it should be. Well, not what it should be, because there's a lot of different comedy genres.
Right.
But the movie was really good. All the actors really brought it.
Yeah, it's like
over the top.
Ensemble cast. Yeah, that made it great. Like, it's like that scene where all the different news anchor crews are going to fight in the parking lot or whatever. Actually, they do fight. That's right. Like, It's just you don't have stuff like that in other movies. Like, it's something unique. And it's just one of those movies I feel like you could watch over and over and over again. And that fifth, sixth time, you'd still be laughing at some of the parts.
True.
But, can you think of any other movies you might want to mention? We kind of wrap this up.
I don't know. Amityville Horror. We're doing backups.
Yeah, man.
Since it's right there, and I can't really think of anything else at the moment.
Yeah.
Just because in
now
general,
the Amityville Horror, which was it the original?
Well, maybe the story in general.
But like, what the movie like?
I mean,
was it newer or was it older? Like,
well, the older version, the original version, is really good. But the one that gave me the creeps was the new version with, I think it was Ryan Reynolds. Right, that's his name, right? Green Lantern,
yeah,
Deadpool.
Green Lantern. No, because I thought you said you saw it last night.
No, it was just like it was some sort of documentary. It was,
on the actual event.
No, you know what it was? No, it was these guys right here. They were talking about different haunted places, real haunted places, and they brought up Amityville Horror.
In Amityville?
Yeah, and I was just like, and it just made me think of that movie, when they get you, like, not with, when it's like, oh, you turn around, it's like right there, dude. It's
the jump scares.
They got me. They got me a couple times in that, and I was just like, whoo, man. And like at the time, my couch was positioned so like nothing was behind me, like there was room behind me, and I'm like,
no, yeah, it's crazy stuff because it delves into like insanity, and it's like, all right, was it really demons or was this dude just a fucking nut?
Well, they say that the people who own it now were experiencing some issues too.
Man.
No, not murderous issues. Not murderous issues.
Somebody of color move into that house.
They just said they were.
See what happens.
And it could just be self-perpetuating too. They go in and they're just like, it's the Amity house, but yeah, because they're trying to sell it and no one wants to buy it or something like that.
I paid $50 for it.
Yeah, $50.
But we're gonna kind of wrap this up for now. Stay tuned for the letter B coming up. And, thanks for listening. What movies that begin with A do you like?
Because there's a lot of them.
There's a lot.
I mean, I don't think we're going to have issues with quantity until we get down to, like, Z. And Y.
Sure.
And Q.
We're going to be looking up the IMDb. A couple of these letters.
But we got a little ways to go.
X. Yeah. Well, I guess it'd be X-Men and X-Men 2.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for listening.
It's all MOPO. It's all matter of personal opinion. Let us know what you think. Have a good day.